The disappearance of Meryl Streep. It started with a baffling headline: Meryl Streep missing, last seen leaving film set in Europe. The news spread like wildfire. Hollywood's most iconic actress, known for her brilliance and humility, had vanished without a trace. Meryl was in the middle of shooting a psychological thriller in a small Italian town. After wrapping a late-night scene, she stepped into a black SUV waiting by the studio gates, and from that moment on, no one heard from her. Calls to her phone went unanswered. Her family and the studio were frantic, but even law enforcement found no leads. For days, the world held its breath. Conspiracy theories erupted. Some believed she had been kidnapped by a fan. Others whispered about a secret government mission. A few thought she had staged the disappearance, retreating from the limelight forever. But deep down, no one could believe that the woman who had embodied so many lives would simply vanish from her own. Weeks passed without any news. The media storm was relentless. Paparazzi swarmed every corner of Italy searching for clues. Her co-stars and directors gave cryptic interviews, hinting at stress, exhaustion, and perhaps a longing for solitude. But even they seemed in the dark. The world was on edge, desperate for an answer. Then, one evening, an email arrived at the headquarters of a major news outlet. The sender's address was untraceable. It contained a single message: all performances must end. Some curtains need to fall quietly. And attached was a grainy, low-resolution photograph. Meryl, wearing a scarf over her head, sitting on the edge of a remote cliffside, overlooking the sea. She looked peaceful. But where was she? Was she safe? Or was this someone's twisted game? Law enforcement followed the few hints the photo provided, and after 2 days of searching, they found it. An old, secluded monastery hidden high in the cliffs of a small Mediterranean island. Inside, they found her, alive and well. But what they didn't expect was how calm she seemed, as if she had never been missing at all. When the officers asked her why she had disappeared, she smiled gently, as if the answer was obvious. "I needed to step out of the role for a while," she whispered. "Not just the roles I play in films, but the one I live every day. I wanted to know what it felt like to disappear, even from myself." The officers were stunned, but there was no crime here, no foul play, no abduction. Just a woman who had spent her life being everyone and everything, finally reclaiming herself for a moment of silence. The world was both relieved and intrigued by her return. Meryl gave no interviews, no public statements. She quietly resumed her life and returned to the film set as if nothing had happened. Her performance in the film would go on to earn her another Oscar. But when she accepted the award, she simply smiled at the audience and said, "Sometimes the greatest character you play is the one only you know." And with that, she left the stage, leaving everyone to wonder if the real Meryl had ever truly returned, or if she had left part of herself behind on that quiet, distant island. The mystery would linger forever, like the final scene of a great film, leaving the audience breathless, thinking, what if there's more to the story than what we see?